Assalamualaikum. So today I would like to present about the subject of network and security fundamentals. It's about subnetting calculation. So for the scenario, you are provided with an IP address block 172.16.00/20, and it is also provided for subnet, which is subnet A 500 hosts, subnet B 200 hosts, subnet C 100 hosts, and also subnet D 50 hosts. And for each subnet, we have to calculate subnet mask, which is prefix length, network address, broadcast address, and also usable IP range for the first and last usable IP addresses. So first we're going to count for the subnet A 500 hosts. So first of all, we're going to find prefix length. So with that, we're going to use the formula 2 to the power of 32 minus 2 to the power of n. So n, we're going to pick the number that is bigger than the question given. So the question given is 500 hosts. So we're going to pick number that is bigger than 500, which is 2 to the power of 9 equals to what? Equals to 512. So we're gonna use the formula and we will get the answer is 2 to the power of 23. And 2 to the power of 23 is equal to 8388608 IP addresses that we can form more. So our prefix length for the subnet A is 23. And then from here we're going to find the starting. The starting is 172.16.00 slash with the prefix length that we found just now, which is 23. And for the network address, it's also the same with the starting 172.16.00/23 as well. So next we're going to find for the first usable address, but before that we have to change the IP address to the binary form first. So it would be 101.010.0001.00000 dot, and then two of it is gonna be totally 0 for the add bits. And then for the first usable address, from here you guys can see with the binary form we have to plus 1 for the IP addresses. So it will be it will total up, and then we have to change the first usable address to the decimal again. So the decimal IP addresses will be 172.16.0.1/23. So next we're gonna find for the broadcast address. For the broadcast address, just now we found the first usable address, and with that, for the first 23 bits, we have to maintain it and don't change anything. But after the 23 bits, which is 24 bits, we have to change all of it to 1. So for this question, it will be 172.16.1.255/23. So for the last usable address we're gonna find, it's also the same. We're gonna use the binary form and we're gonna minus it to 1, and then after we do the calculation of the binary form, we have to change it to the decimal, which is 172.16.1.25. So for the subnet B, we're gonna find the prefix length first. So based on the previous subnet A, we're gonna use the same formula, which is 2 to the power of 32 minus 2 to the power of n. N is the number that we have to choose that bigger than the question. So for the question B is 200. So I'm gonna pick 2 to the power of 8 is equals to 256. So with the formula, we're gonna get 2 to the power of 24 is equals to 16777.216 IP addresses that we can form more. So our prefix length is 24. So with that, we're gonna find the starting. For the first starting, we're gonna pick that the broadcast address. For examples, like just now we count for the subnet A, so we're gonna pick broadcast address subnet A next. So basically the next of the broadcast address of subnet A is the starting address for the subnet B. So it's gonna be 172.16.20. But before that, previously the broadcast address A is gonna be 172.16.1.255, basically for the whole bits is the 255. So we cannot pick the starting number is 256. So basically the next address it will be zero. It will be 0. So we cannot use 256 because for the whole bits is 255. So for the starting is gonna be 172.16.20/24. 24 is the prefix line that we find just now. And then same goes to the network address. It will be the same address. And then next we're gonna find for the first usable address. We have to change it to the binary first. So after we change the binary form, we're gonna have to +1 for the address, and then after you done your calculation for the binary form, it would be 172.16.21/24. And then next for the broadcast address, we're going to use the binary form, but then for the first 24 bits, we're going to maintain it, don't change anything, you just copy it down. But then after the bits of 25, we have to change it all to 1. So we're gonna find 172.16.255/24. We're gonna change it to the decimal form back. And then lastly, for the last usable address, we're gonna use the broadcast address that is in the binary form. We have to minus it to 1. So after you done your calculation that is in binary form, you have to change it to the decimal form. So we're gonna get the last usable address is 172.16.2254/24. So next for the subnet C, we have 100 hosts. Just like previous before, we have to find the prefix length with the same formula as well. So for this question, I'm gonna pick 2 to the power of 7 because it's bigger than hundreds. It's 1 to 8, and I will get 2 to the power of 25, and then it's also equals to 33554432 IP addresses. So our prefix length is 25. So for the starting address, it's just like previous before. We're gonna pick the subnet B broadcast address after that. But then you have to know that 255 is the limit of the bits, and we cannot go further to the 256. So with that, we're gonna +1 to the previous bits. So it will be 172.16.30/25. And then for the network addresses, it will be the same. And then next for the first usable address, first of all, we're going to change it to the binary form first, and then we're going to plus it to 1. So after you done your calculation of the binary form, you will get 172.16.31/25. And then next for the broadcast address, by using the binary form for the first usable address, you're gonna keep the 25 first bit and remain unchanged. For the next bit, which is 26 afterwards, you're gonna change it to 1. So you will change back to the decimal form. So it will be 172.16.3127/25. And then lastly, for the last usable address, you're gonna take the binary form, and then you're gonna submit it to 1. And then after you done your calculation, you would get 172.16.3126/25. So lastly, for the subnet D, which is 50 hosts, first of all, we're gonna find our prefix length. So with the formula as well, I'm gonna pick 2 to the power of 6 because it's bigger than 50. So I'm gonna put in the formula, and you will get 2 to the power of 26. That is also equals to 67108864 IP addresses. So our prefix length is 26. And then for the starting, just like previous before, we're gonna pick the subnet C broadcast address after that. So previously, subnet C broadcast address is 172.16.3127. So for the subnet D, we're gonna pick 172 192.168/26, which is the prefix length we just found before. And then next we're going to find for the network address. It's also the same as the starting. And then next we're going to find for the first usable address. Just like before, we have to change the network address to the binary form first, and then we're going to plus it to 1, and then you've done your calculation in the binary form, and then you have to change it back to the decimal form. So it would be 172.16.3.126/26. And then for the broadcast address, you have to use the binary form first, and then you're gonna keep the first 26 bits remain unchanged, and then 27 bits afterwards you have to change it all to 1, and then you have to change it back to the decimal form, which is 172.16.3.191/26. And then last but not least, for the last usable address, you're gonna use the binary form as well. You're gonna minus it to 1, and then you've done your calculation. You have to change the binary form to the decimal form back. So it would be 172.16.3.190/26. So that's all from me. Bye. Thank you. So that's all from me. Thank you.